Hello everyone. So here we are. It's our first prompt reveal for our table. And I think it's a bit obvious what the first one is because we've kind of hinted at it and some people have already started doing it. But our first prompt reveal is to do a big vase of flowers, a big one. So in terms of positioning, we would suggest you need to do it towards the back of your table. So upwards. And off center, left or right, it's up to you. I'm doing mine on my left side, which runs down with my border. The problem with mine, can't do it too far to the back because it's humongous. And this is why I needed to go to a bigger canvas. So firstly, I wanted to do a ginger jar. Originally, I wanted to do a navy and white one. And I totally forgot I had this fabric. That is the most beautiful ginger jar. I love the dragon. So it's actually very big because in a minute I'm going to show you what my flowers are. So this was just cut out of a piece of fabric that I had. I also have, I do have a blue and white one, but the design on it is not as good as this dragon. And I also have a green and white one, but the design is not so good. So I'm going to start with telling you how I'm going to put this down. So I'm going to start stitching from the inside. Alfie's chewing a box. From the inside coming out. If I just go around the outside, because this is such a large piece of fabric, I'm likely to get some bubbling and puckering, and I don't want that to happen. I want it to lay flat. So I'm going to do a little bit of invisible stitching here, there, and everywhere, starting on the inside and working my way out. And then I will do an overcast stitch around the outside. Later on, what I plan to do is to do little bits of embroidery in the red cotton. So for example, I might just do the flowers. Okay, I'm going to work that out later. So we have got 4 weeks to do this prompt because this is a big one. Okay, and if you are doing a smaller piece, you're just going to have to keep working on it or be patient until the next one comes out. Now I'm shifting this down because the next thing, while I was going through fabrics, my original intention was to fussy cut a bunch of fabrics and create a beautiful vase of flowers just going everywhere and really big. But I forgot, and I came across a beautiful, I had bought some scraps of fabric from the sewing basket in Balmain several years ago, many years ago, which was a beautiful linen with some very bright coloured flowers on. So I have fussy cut out one of the big bouquets of flowers. Now on this, yep, that's the way it goes. On this piece of linen, it had a black background. I'm not too keen on the black, but it had these beautiful big bouquets of flowers that also came out of a vase. I've changed the vase because I wanted to use this big red one, big red. And these are the beautiful flowers that I'm going to be working on embellishing. All right, so same thing with this. It is a very large piece of fabric. To give myself, I'm just going to move you up so you can see, to give myself a little bit more space on the table and so I don't lose too much of my pretty flowers, I'm thinking about just shifting my vase up, flattening it, and then it will look like, just straighten this again, it will look like there's no neck, but that's fine. Like it's just like a little round vase. So I know you probably can't see this whole thing on screen because it's too big, but that to me is absolutely me. Like those beautiful colors on the gorgeous linen, a dragon, a ginger jar, that is just me, very me. So same with this piece here. Now, because it's linen, it is already starting to fray. I did fussy cut it fairly carefully around the flowers. I will do the same thing. I'm going to start with invisible stitch and just start working my way out. But the plan over the next 4 weeks is to do some embellishing on the ginger jar, but I really want to do some beautiful embellishing on the flowers. I'm not going to thread paint the whole thing because these are so beautiful. I don't think I need to do the whole thing, but I want to do touches of it. I'm even thinking of doing some beading, using different types of threads, different types of stitches. So this will be a very, very large part of my whole scene. But this is just the type of thing that I would want to see on my wall, something really bright like this and huge. So what I'm going to do is I will pin this down. I'm going to come back in a minute once I've pinned it down, and I'm going to show you the invisible stitching that I'll do. And then later on, I would be overcast stitching around the whole outside. It's going to take quite a while to do this because it's a big piece. And then once all that's done, once it's stitched in place, at the end of this video, the plan is in the daylight to get outside and take a photo of the whole thing so you can actually see it literally is taking up half of my table and my scene. So my other things will not be as big as this one. Okay, they can't be because I won't fit everything in. But this did not, if I put this on the other canvas, it actually took up almost the whole canvas. There was only a little bit left over. So I had to go bigger. All right, so I'll play around with the positioning a bit. I can't lay the whole thing out. My table's not big enough, but I think you get the idea. So have fun with your flowers. I will be back. This is just the start of the video. I'll be back once I'm ready to show you how to stitch it down. Okay, I'll see you soon. Okay, so I've pinned down my ginger jar. I stretched my fabric up that way and pinned, and then I just put a couple at the sides. Because this is quite large, as soon as I feel like it's secure, I'm going to be pulling out the pins, otherwise I'm going to be poking myself. As I work on this piece, I don't normally use a hoop, but I may end up using a quilter's hoop because it is so big. I think it would be easier to use a hoop to keep it straight. So I've pulled my thread up, so the thread I'm using is just a sewing machine cotton. And just around some of the features, I'm going to do the invisible stitch, and it's almost going to give it a quilted-like effect. So, hang on. So, excuse me, I just need to sneeze. So I'm starting with this little flower because it's fairly central to the piece, to the vase, fairly much in the middle. Now I want to bring my hand under and just be careful of pins. Okay, so just a little tiny stitch on top. And at this point, I'm going through 1, 2, 3, 4 layers, including the blanket. So it is actually quite thick, but it's easy to pass it through. They're just simple cottons. Okay, so just I want to do little tiny stitches that are really not very noticeable. Not as far apart as I do invisible stitch when I was stitching down my backgrounds, where I was taking my stitches about 1 inch apart. I'm keeping them a bit closer together. I would normally like to rock it under, and there we go. I've done that there because it's quicker. Once I get going, it'll become quicker. It's just when I do it like that, sometimes I'm not actually getting through the blanket, so a few issues here, aren't we? So I want to try and go right down, make sure that one went through the blanket. And what I can even do is, to get through the blanket, I do need to take it a decent way under. I can just do it as a little back stitch. It's just starting to rain, lovely. Summer rain in the afternoon. So we had a big day yesterday. It was Jamie's birthday. And we picked up his new car, which is exciting for him. This morning we've had the windows tinted. So the car's looking great. He just can't open the windows for a couple of days. Last night for his birthday, his dad and I took him to a Japanese teppanyaki bar where they cook on the hot plate in front of you, and it's lots of fun and lots of laughs. Just at a place not far from where his dad lives that we hadn't been before, and it had mixed reviews online. An older style restaurant, but the food was delicious. The only thing I would say is that with a very tall child and an even taller dad at 6'2", Jamie, and 6'7", his dad, there probably could have been just a little bit more food for them. For me, it was perfect. In fact, I gave a little bit to Jamie and Revy, but for them, for big men, big boys, maybe just a little bit more. But it was delicious. Like, oh, I wish I could eat that food every day. Like, I would not normally eat cabbage, but the way they cook up the cabbage and carrot and a bit of onion, and then the sauces they put on it, it's just delicious. And then it's a pretty quick dinner because at first we were the only ones in the restaurant. When we first arrived, we were the earliest because it only opened at 6 and we booked at 6. And then there was 2 other groups, or one group that came in, then I think another group that was coming in. It's just a little restaurant, can't take too many people. And so we were done pretty quickly because we had all the chef's attention to get all our bits cooked. And then because we finished quite quickly, we decided to go to this golf place called Holy Moly, like it's a mini putt-putt course. And we did 3 different courses of 9 holes, and it was hilarious. And they're all themed. Like there's a Happy Gilmore one. There was a Squid Game one. That was actually a fun thing. We had to compete against each other. Yeah, but that was lots of fun. And then it's a place that serves drinks. So we each had a cocktail after, and then a couple of little snacks, some corn ribs. We had a good night. It was a good birthday for Jamie. All right, so I'm going to hop off camera and I'm going to spend some time stitching the ginger jar. I haven't got the flowers on here at the moment. I'm going to stitch this down first and then come back to them. And I will come back in time to show you this stitch down. So one thing, as I'm doing the invisible stitch, almost like the quilting around the flower, I've got to make sure that it stays nice and straight. Okay, so I will come back. It probably won't be tonight because this is going to take me a while, but I will come back in time this week before Sunday. I'm filming this early, and I'll show you what it looks like. See, it's getting a little bit puffy, like it's quilted. That could look really cool. Okay, so I will see you again in a moment for you on video, but for me it'll probably be tomorrow. Okay, see you soon. So just an extra photo I've added in here to show you that I actually used a snap frame, a square snap frame, to put onto my piece so it was easy for me to do the quilting. So just to show you where I'm up to, I've actually stitched down a lot of it. There's still bits that I haven't done. I'm trying to come in close. Just let me give you some good light. Coming in close. I'm not sure if you can see the little stitches, but there are little tiny stitches pretty much following every single line. What I've just got to do is the outer edges. Okay, but the whole dragon is stitched down. All of this is all stitched around, and I've just got to stitch the top here down. I'm only going to stitch that a little bit around the edge because that will end up being covered with the base of my flowers. But I do really like the way it's kind of got that quilted effect, and it feels Feels really lovely. Yeah, so I have actually stitched. That's all stitched down on that edge there. So it'll be like that. I'll get off those frayed bits, but it'll be all stitched down. And then to decide if I am going to do some embroidery. I love the look of the dragon. I don't want to lose its character. Maybe I'll embroider some of the flowers. I've just got to decide. So we've got 4 weeks on this. This is our first week, so I've got time to work on that. And even if I decide later on after the 4 weeks, I can come back and do it later. So just that little invisible stitch. I started off really close. So let me just zoom you. Can you see how they're really close? Didn't like the look of it, and I was getting some of the stitches just on top of the colour. And then I started spacing them out further and trying just to hit the very edge of the white, and it looks better. You can't see them so much. So loving this prompt so far. I hope you like it as well, and can't wait to see what you come up with. I'll show you a video of the whole piece, like a big piece, in a minute. Okay, see you soon. Now here is a quick snippet of my whole piece. Sorry, the lighting's not great in here. I forgot to take one outside today, and it's night time and it's on my bed. But that's the whole piece. So tonight, Alfie, Alfie's here. Hi, Alfie. Tonight I finished stitching down my vase. As I said, hi, Alfie. Hi, Alfie. Hi, puppy. Oh, he's ready to play. Oh, there he goes. Okay, so I'm yet to, well, I've stitched down my vase. I'm yet to decide if I'm going to embroider it, but look how cute my puppy is. Oh, hello, Alfie. And the flowers need to be invisible stitch, which I'll do this week. So next week I will start working on them. I'm going to leave it with Alfie because he's too cute. Hi, Alfie. He's ready to play. All right. I will see you again next week. Bye from me and bye from Alfie. Alfie. Hi. Okay, done.